Literally teach children to respect dad's sleep more than mom. So don't wake daddy, the game. Not only, as I talked about in my last video, does that game normalize children and especially women tiptoeing around daddy, you don't want to wake daddy because he screams at you when he wakes up. It also teaches women that our sleep is not important, especially mom's sleep. Like, first of all, where is mom? Where's mom? That whole game, literally the whole game, is about kids being hungry and having to sneak past their sleeping father who is literally passed out in bed with hamburgers and pizzas and drinks and the dog behind him eating Nutella, right? Dad is just gorging, he's probably drunk. He probably smoked too and probably gambled online and watched some porn as well, because men will spend endless money and time on self-destructive escapism stuff, right? Where's mom? Not only does she not get to sleep, she's probably working or breastfeeding or doing something because her time and especially her downtime and especially her sleep is something that is never valued, right? And we get that right out of the gate with the baby, I had no idea until I started seeing men make content about how they just pass the baby off when it's hungry. Honestly, I swear to God, if I ever was a mom, which I will not be, I don't want to be, I've never wanted to be. I'm very grateful for all the mothers out there who do that work, and I try to support them in every way possible, right? It seems like a lot of times when women decide to breastfeed instead of do formula, that just gives men a free pass to do less labor. I'm not saying that breastfeeding is bad. I mean, if anything, everyone's like, breast is best. And then the women who don't breastfeed oftentimes get shamed by society and other mothers. I've seen a lot of my mom friends go through it. But as someone who was a nanny for a long time and have so many mom friends, I'm like, it seems like on some level, it almost works out better if she does formula, because then dad can't just tap out and be like, sorry, I don't have the Kurdish with the milk, so that's on you. Every time the baby wakes up in the middle of the night, that's on you. Even if she has a refrigerator or freezer full of all this stuff she's pumped out of her, which is apparently very exhausting to do in and of itself. And that stuff is worth gold. All that pumping, right? So, but anyway, women's downtime, our hobbies, our sleep, our rest, our anything that is not working and serving men or children or someone else is not valued at all. So that it's so rare. And then we've been conditioned to believe, partly because of stupid games like that our sleep isn't valuable. They would never make a game, Don't Wake Mommy, because we don't value mom's sleep. And the reason why we value dad's sleep is because dads also weaponize moodiness and violence to scare people out of threatening their sleep. And then these men then have the audacity to fall asleep in the middle of community spaces like a couch rather than go into another room, so the whole family has to tiptoe around dad and his little nap. There's a reason why every woman that I know who becomes a mother, they all are on the I can't believe I'm still alive with this little sleep spectrum, right? But the worse their husband is in terms of really deconstructing patriarchy and understanding how entitled he is under this system and how deep that indoctrination goes, and if he's not actively questioning himself and really wanting to move away from that, the more that man is not questioning himself, the more exhausted she is, because society and even women themselves don't respect our own downtime. And even if we do, we can't if we're attached to a man who sucks. Do you have any idea how many women I know that I've had to talk into taking a shower? They didn't even want to ask their husbands to watch the baby, their own baby. I swear, I think sometimes being child-free, my mission in life is to help moms who are not in that mom guilt world, just give them a little outside perspective, being like, don't you deserve a shower? Maybe you don't need to take the car seat into the bathroom. Maybe you deserve to feel good and clean. And this dude who literally put that baby in you should be responsible for taking care of it. And the thing is that it reminds me, I've never been a mom, But, dating a narcissistic abuser is the closest I will ever come to motherhood. And if there's one thing of many things that I learned, is that reason why I stayed in that situation so bad and couldn't get out is because he exhausted me. And one of the main tools of exhausting me, besides me having to tiptoe around his moods, the way that game teaches kids to do from 3 years old and up, tiptoe around the moodiness of this man who only does that crap at home with his family and never at work or with his friends, by the way. It is selective rage, selective moodiness. But the one thing that I learned is that sleep deprivation, by keeping me up, by asking me to do things at the most awful times to interrupt my sleep deprivation was the number one way that man controlled me and kept me from leaving him. I was too exhausted to be, even the idea of getting out of this situation. When you don't sleep, you are in survival mode. And so I'm not saying for moms to get out of that situation, but moms are going to be less likely to push back against these husbands who manipulate them all the time if they're exhausted, right? So the more exhausted a mom I see, the more I side-eye her husband and I'm like, it's you. I know that having a baby and having children is exhausting. If that's one reason I don't want to have any. But the more exhausted the mom is, the more I'm like, this is on you, bro. Yeah, some of it's her own conditioning and maybe she's doing too much, but who's letting her do too much? A partner who cared about her would be like, babe, you know what I mean? Would fight back against that mom guilt that is so deep in so many women I know. And it'd be like, no, babe, you need to rest. You know what I mean? Not only stepping in and doing a lot of stuff for her, but literally protecting her from her own conditioning of sacrifice, martyr, right? Most men will not do that. They exploit that martyrdom that society has taught us. So yeah, there would never be a game called Don't Wake Mommy. For a reason. Mommy is never supposed to sleep and get rest and relax unless it's to go make herself pretty at the hair salon or a pedicure. It can never just be to relax. It has to be some other purpose to serve so that you're prettier to look at or something. But just relax, downtime, sleep. So many men do not want the mothers of their children to experience that, because then they might expect it more, because they may not realize how much they need it. And the more tired you are, the more they control you and the more of their BS you will put up with.